Le kae? Great day. Thank you very much, Program Director, for a very colorful welcome. The leadership of CIGFARO present, the leadership of Treasury, my employer, SALGA, National School of Government, all departments available, SETAs. I've heard that you've got banks here, but most importantly, I think the audience that is here, I hope all protocol is observed. I was requested to come and share knowledge about local government SETA. And I was fortunate because as much as I come on at the back door, Program Director, because you'd see I'm not in the program. And the second part is that not being in the program, I was told that I must be here at 11:30. You could have seen that I rushed here from Johannesburg. So I was just thinking, because I had an opportunity to process the presentation from the National School of Government or Governance. I was privy to the talk by a young professional, and I'm just thinking, do I really want to come here and talk about my organization? Because you can just go to the website, Google, there's a free Wi-Fi here. You'll see my face, you'll see what we are about, the legislative framework governing us, our mission, our vision, our 5 key priority areas, and to say, do I really want to come here as a CEO, paid handsomely as I'm paid? Yes, yeah, I'm getting paid very well. So, yes, in case my employers are here. So I thought I was talking to the chairperson of the session to say, do I really want to come here and talk about that? Because this presentation we can share with you. Because I feel that it would be a missed opportunity not to also personalize my journey, my understanding, the leadership complexities that we come across through day in, day out in local government, and what is it that local government SETA in our own corner, because there's too many players, there's too many challenges, and we can only do a part. So I want to check with your good selves if you are agreeing that I must divert from this presentation and just share what I think would be a message that when you leave here, you'd say, but CEO said, even 5 years after, 10 years after, 15 years after, because as somebody leading a transformation organization like LG SETA, I am duty-bound to share and create those life bulb moments for your good selves in pursuit of your greatness in your career. So I want to hear from your good selves if you are going to allow me not to go through the presentation, but just to talk from the heart, because sometimes talking from the heart is actually what matters in a moment of despair, in a moment where you are not sure about your careers, you are not sure about your studies, like we had with a young lady here earlier, or the opportunities that are there, and how can you navigate and make sure that you you propel yourself and sail through the life challenges. I want to hear yes if you agree. If you don't agree, nay, then I will stick to the presentation and read and just go and sit down. I'm not sure, Program Director, if it's lunch that was not enjoyed or generally people do not want to interact. Yay or nay? Yay. I was hoping I'll hear one nay, then I would use that as... Okay, I'm going to start my talk today with a quote from a lady called Diana Nayeri. She says, "It is the obligation of everyone born in a safer room to open the door when someone in danger knocks." It is the obligation of everyone born in a safer room to open the door when someone in danger knocks, close quote. Now, local government SETA is one of the 21 SETAs as legislated by the Skills Development Act, Skills Development Levies Act of 1997 and 1998 that creates and facilitates skills development in our various communities. You would know that in South Africa we've got 257 municipalities, and of those 257, 44 are districts, and we've got 8 metropolitan areas. So the scope of LG-SETA is to make sure that in all 257 municipalities we have skills. We've got skilled workforce. The work of the LG-SETA is to make sure that in all those 257 that unemployed people or must have opportunities through the municipalities. The work of the LG-SETA is to make sure that the communities in those 257 municipalities can, for lack of a better word, participate in economic opportunities as enshrined in Chapter 7 of the Constitution when it comes to local government. So our approach to skills development, one, is to make sure that we've got what we call a 5-year plan, which is a sector skills plan, which each and every year we are expected to update, to say what are the 10 key priorities. And each and every year, CFO is a priority. Each and every year, supply chain management is a priority. Each and every year, internal audit, it's a priority. I'm just naming those that are relevant to today's conversation. So we are expected each and every year, meaning when we develop our annual performance plan and we also budget, we know that we fund primarily the 10 key priorities. That gets updated. We conduct what we call labor market intelligence, so that we are able to tell that how many plumbers are we going to need in the next 3 or 5 years? How many civil engineers are we going to need in the next 5, 10 years? What is the age profile of the current instrument mechanicians in various municipalities? How many diesel mechanics do you have in municipalities? So we run that repository of information. And how do we now make that research reports or recommendations into fruition? We fund, when we do our APP, our programs that we do, it's internships. Or maybe let me start at the top. When I came in 2021 in LG-SETA, I said, we are always focusing on bazaars. And we forget that we come from destitute families. And we always say you want somebody who can do accounting. But what have we invested as an organization? So we start between grade 10 and grade 12. We give extra classes on maths, on science, on technology, on accounting, and English, because I come from a municipality called Tswaying in the northwest. And we were taught everything in Setswana. Whether it's maths, whether it's even English, you are taught it. Wa utlwa. This is, you know. So whether we like it or not, we need to accept that English is a medium language that we use to do business. Therefore, we accept. We are not saying it's right, but those are the standards that are there, subject for another day. So we said between grade 10 and grade 12, we give a minimum of 82 hours. So that when we come and fund that child who education only happens when the bell is not rung, when they go back home, because there's other pressing challenges that are affecting us as Black people and African child in this time that we are living in. So we are saying, let's create that opportunity and give more opportunities in terms of extra classes. And then by the time they finish matric, we come now with bursaries. Our bursaries obviously will talk to the 10 key priority areas, but they are not only limited there. You would recall that in the Municipal Structural Act, talks about 9 key municipal service areas. That would be your water, your sanitation. Now, it used to be electricity. I'm saying let's call it energy, so that we can address the backlog that we are dealing with. Not just electricity, because there's nuclear, there's wind turbines, there's solar, and so forth. So we do fund those type of bursaries. And our bursary, we pay your tuition, we pay gadgets that you may use or learning aids, we pay accommodation that is university approved, and we do cater for meals and so forth. And we do that up until doctoral level. Now, you can see I'm still tired. I only came back on Monday from China. I was doing presentations in 11 different cities in China. We've secured over 500 scholarships in China and fully funded. So you are very fortunate that you are the first cohort of audience that I'm addressing, and we'll share our details when we leave here, so that those who are interested can seek those opportunities. The purpose of us going to China was that the board of LGCTA approved that we must take 270 people from 9 different provinces. We said we are going to focus on 9 provinces. In KZN, I know we took eThekwini. In Western Cape, we identified Cape Winelands. They are not assisting us. In Northwest, Nakamudiri-Molema district. In Limpopo, Sikukuni. In Ehlanzeni, Mpumalanga. Namakwa, Northern Cape. Mangaung, they've got governance issues, so we went to what is Welcome district? Machabeng. And then, which province did I live? Gauteng. City of Joburg. And what we were doing, we said, let's identify 5 pillars. One, we've got issues with water, because most municipalities should have a green drop status. We are having challenges. And then sanitation, for me, we've not dealt with sanitation, because we know that there's still a lot of population who still have to take those walks that we used to take back then when we were young to relieve themselves. and energy, because we need to look at various forms of energy solution. And then we said buildings. It was before what happened in George. Buildings and infrastructure, roads, and what happened also in Johannesburg. And then we said local economic development, because out of the 180 young people, the 90 is employed. We want to take people at supervisory level who can look at getting the latest knowledge around how, for instance, I went to a university around gas, how you can pipe gas. Those who come from city of Joburg, I've got a solution for you, so that we don't have those issues of gas, So that was the intention. But when we got there, people got excited, because we always talk negative about our country, and we always paint a bleak challenges about our country and so forth. And we said, look, just like any country, we've got challenges, but it doesn't mean that human beings cannot address these issues that we are having. And as an organization, in our little corner, this is what we want to do and collaborate. And people open up. I was called to go and do, maybe that's why I don't want to go through presentation, where I had to present to DGs of 34 provinces, and eventually they gave us the scholarships. So I'm saying these things, that what I've seen in China, especially with youth, fortunately I'm not on social media, you'd confirm, Chair, the use of TikTok for e-commerce, for cross-boundary opportunities, state paying for cameras, equipment, for people, not to use TikTok for just laughs, but content that sells. There's no WhatsApp in China. I could see my colleagues were very demoralized, because they couldn't now check in. Facebook, dolol. Google, dolol. And it's a country that works. And I'm thinking, if the mindset that we can take as South Africans, with all the knowledge, with all the humor that we have, with all the hearts that we have, and the inherent characteristics of Ubuntu and that we have, can't we also start to streamline our energies to things that matters? Can't we start to look at our ailing infrastructure in municipalities and the challenges of revenue enhancements that is needed, and develop apps that will help municipalities? As LGC, I'm saying we are here. We can fund at least the development component of those apps that seeks solution to address South African challenges. And for me, I was taken aback, and maybe it is time that we think like what John Maxwell says. He says, you can either play now or pay later, or you can pay now and play later. Irrespective of your choice, life demands a payment. Is it not time that, as youth sitting here, because Chair was talking to me and said, the youth are discouraged. I said, they are discouraged, but we come from there also. I was a student. I studied matric with a candle, but I still got my A's. And I didn't know that I would even be accepted at the university. When I did my assignment, I had to borrow books at libraries. People can relate. I can see those who are in their 40s. And we didn't call it load shedding. I was paying TAFs. My first job, I was a prison ward with an honors degree, by the way. With an honors degree, studying masters. But I said, I'm going to save. With a pay of 3.8, they took 800 TAFs. When I got to work, yes. Now today, there's NSFAS. There's opportunities, there's tuition, there's us that we can relate. Because remember, in our case, we are the first in our families. We couldn't have that uncle who was a CEO. Because naturally, it was just a teacher, a policeman. But with you, you've got a template now to correct. Because some of us, I still make mistakes in my big age, in my career, in my personal life, in my spiritual life, and so forth. But you are here and there's opportunities. We've got internships that we are funding. What do we do when we get to work? I said to the chair, I've got a virtual meeting at 3. I would like to leave at 2:30. Let's start at 1. Now he can see, because he spoke to my office to say, that guy, he sticks to time. And that's me. That's what the world is about. Let's take our job seriously. Let's take ourselves seriously if you want to be taken seriously. The world doesn't owe you. South Africa doesn't owe you. LGCTA and CIGFARO doesn't owe you. But they are here to give you guidance. They are here to make sure that they collaborate with us. I'm the CEO of an organization. I said, this is the right platform for me to come and talk, because I didn't come back from the sky. I come from a village. Today, I deal with issues that affect municipalities. Because I left the municipality thinking that there's a city of gold elsewhere, not knowing that gold, I'm living gold where I come from. So the importance of making sure that when we are in a municipality, the 9 structural areas, from waste to water, making sure that we pay taxes, we pay our taxes, our tickets, and so forth. It's a form of revenue enhancement. And we can only do that when we pay our dues as citizens. We can only do that when we take the responsibility of ensuring that we've got a working system. We like to compare ourselves with democracies that were there for 500 years. I took a study last year with Salga on coalition governments. And we came back with one word. For coalitions to work, you just need political maturity. 6 countries later, so many meetings and costs. What do you come up with? There's no legislation, by the way, that governs coalitions in those democracies. So let's embrace our growth. Our democracy is maturing. Let's ensure that we safeguard these democracies for future leaders. I'm here now. I won't be here tomorrow. Immediately when I accept to say I'm a CEO of LGCTA, another CEO is in the making. Another CFO is in the making. Another corporate services executive is in the making. Another chief audit executive is in the making. And what is in the making depends how you use your time. It will depend how you use your time. That position that is here, I'm not born to be in this position. Let me read something that was interesting, because I don't want to take much of your time. Someone said, I know people who graduated at college at 21 and didn't get a job until they were 27. I know people who graduated at 25 and already had a salaried job. I know people who have children and are single. Must I repeat that? Okay. I know people who are married and had to wait 8 to 10 years to be parents. I know people who are in a relationship and love someone else. I know people who love each other and aren't together. There are people waiting to love and to be loved. The point is, everything in life happens according to our time, our clock. You may look at your friends and you may seem to be ahead or they be behind you. But they are not. They are living according to their pace of their clock. So be patient. You are not falling behind. It's just not your time. Thank you very much.